Hi, I'm Tim Bartz, Internet Sales Manager here at McArthur Ford, Salina, Kansas, your source for your Maverick videos for a Maverick Monday. We're at episode 26 now, believe it or not. And this week we're going to talk, as you can tell from the title, about, if you're wanting to try to place that order, what's the best, fastest configuration to get scheduled according to Ford. And I'm going to tell you why Ford is asking you to do this and why they're pushing this particular trim level. And how you can counteract that if that's not what you want, and what can you do to get yours. So we're going to cover all that in this week's video, and we're going to talk a little bit, start it out talking about the new allocation system that starts in July. So just for most of you that don't know, they usually don't start scheduling and using the new allocations for each month until usually a week or two into the month. And for this month, because of the way July 4th lands, it's going to be the week of the 15th probably. So we're almost the middle of the month before they start scheduling any of the July allocations for those September production dates. And so some of you might be out there going, Tim, I'm new to this. What are you talking about when it comes to allocation? What's that have to do with scheduling, with order, and more with production? So here's how this works real quickly for those that are new. An allocation is needed if you have an order to be scheduled for production. So placing an order with a dealer does not mean that your order is going to get scheduled. Some people said, hey, I received that email. Does that mean that that my dealer gets an allocation? No, that means your order is submitted. That's all it means. And so for your order to be selected for production date by your dealer has to have an allocation for that particular model. So most all models are, how dealers earn those allocations is based on the sales volume, how well they sell a vehicle. And not only how many they sell, but how many do they have on their lot? Because they'll earn the allocations based on their sales, but also lose allocations if they have too much inventory sitting on their lot as well. So that's very important. It's called a turn and earn type of setup. Now on the Ford Maverick, as I mentioned in a video, I don't know, it's been probably a couple months now, where the Maverick was not done that way because it was a new model and being launched. Ford, the first year, did it based solely on the orders that you received and that you had placed in your order bank from customers. And then the second and third year, it was based on a different of a mix, and it changed. More Maverick percentages was added from on the third year than it was the second year. So let me pull this up. I'm actually going to use the website. We're going to talk about this in a little bit, but the allocation system for the Maverick right now, ending in June, was based on a certain percentage of Escape sales, Bronco Sport sales, as well as Ranger, and 30% based on Maverick. And so it's based on those four models for earning those allocations. And the way dealers got those was they basically at the beginning of the model year, when they're going to start production and giving allocations out, they predicted based on dealers' last 12 months for those four vehicles. They told dealers, here's what you're going to get for the next year. So it wasn't each month getting those allocations. It was basically given to them and figured out what was going to happen for the entire year, all at the beginning of the year, which really is not 100% fair because even on these models, that's going to, we earn those allocations on the other models, those other three, solely based on, sales. So it can change and it's fluid. It can be different. It can be low one month, high another month, and that kind of thing. And so for it to be dictated at the beginning of the year was, in my opinion, wasn't fair. But it is what it was. And I say was because it ended in June. So July's allocations will be based 100% on your earn and turn sales volume for the Ford Maverick. And as the number 2 Ford dealer in the country right now, yes, we got passed up by the number 1 dealer this last month because we didn't have any allocations and have any inventory. We sold 1 Maverick last month, and that was the only one we had to sell. But this month we're excited because it will change. So now it'll be based on the sales volume, which in the last year, again, we've been the number 1 Maverick dealer since January until this month. So we're really excited. We're going to should see a lot of allocations this month, especially with 0 Mavericks on our lot. Nothing should hinder us from getting allocations. So because of that, our customers that currently have orders, which is only about 17 people, will be finally, after they've been waiting a couple months to get scheduled, will finally get scheduled for that production date in September. Now, Ford announced today with this new system and reminding dealers, hey, we got the new turn and earn. Here's a good idea. If you don't have a lot of retail orders and you're needing to use those allocations for inventory, here are the best turning and best ways to use those allocations, which what most dealerships don't realize is they will make sure you get your allocations used no matter how you configure your vehicles. But here's what's going to probably happen to a lot of dealers that aren't paying attention. If you do not have a retail order, Ford will place what they call simulated orders and orders into your system order bank, the configuration that they need scheduled for production. And right now that happens to be the Lariat trim. So Ford is pushing the Lariat trim right now because basically here, let's actually go over here to this and click on the Maverick and let's look at this, right? And you see the three different trim levels. Well, right now, about 60% of all of the unscheduled orders in the order bank are the XL trim. And the Lariat is very low. The capacity and what they planned for this model year was about 23% would be built as XLs, 50% would be built as XLTs, and about 27 would be built as Lariat trims. Well, right now the problem is there's way more orders than they need on XL. XLT is probably about where they need it to be, but Lariat's the one that they're really struggling. They're not getting very many orders for the Lariat trim. And what I don't know if they realize this, but when you add all those packages, we talked about this in the past already. Don't need to rehash that topic. But when a Lariat is that much more, you're talking $11,000 more than the XL trim. That's probably why you're not getting a lot of orders for the Lariat trim, and a lot of people don't want to go up there. If they're looking for a inexpensive vehicle, a Maverick like this, they are looking XL, XLT, and stay under $30,000. That Lariat trim is going to get up once you start adding the destination delivery, and you even add one package. Now you're up to about $40,000. And that's just getting up there. At that point, you just will get a Ranger, right? So that's what a lot of people are looking at. But if maybe you are looking at a Lariat, because I can see a justification for the Lariat. If you're somebody who's like, I've always wanted a fully loaded vehicle, but never could afford it. Maybe this is a way you can take a Maverick, completely load it up, and still be under $40,000. That might be a way to do that. You get a lot of standard equipment now, and the Copilot 360, adaptive cruise, all those things are going to be standard equipment now on that. Now, add the hybrid and you're over 40, but or you might stay under 40 if you don't add any other extra packages. But Ford's saying the best configuration to get scheduled is the Lariat with the trimmer off-road package, but that does put it over $40,000. I was just messing with that a little bit ago. So let's click in here and look at this. If you go to packages and you add the trimmer, which is $34.95, and you add nothing else, you're at $40,695 with your destination charge. Well, and that's also with your acquisition fee. So you're just over 40 then if you take that lease fee out, because they put that in there. That acquisition fee wouldn't be in there. So you're right at $40,000 for a trimmer. But that is the fastest. They said the fastest one to get scheduled would be a Lariat with a trimmer. So if you always want one of those, then you're in luck. Also, they said one of the best configurations for the Lariat trim for towing and everything else is to go ahead and go with let's take the trimmer off, is to go with the FX4 off-road package, $800, and to add the 4K tow package, which is $745. So that's going to be geared out really nicely because it's about towing, 4,000 pounds of towing capability, and FX4 also giving you a nice, the bigger radiator and some things like that. That's going to be the most capable, and would schedule pretty fast as well because it's EcoBoost. It's not a hybrid. And also the wheels for the Lariat, the standard wheel is actually a constraint right now. So if you'll notice, if we take this off, that wheel there is one of the wheels that's actually struggling a little bit. So that's something else to think about right there too. But they also said, if you're looking to go at XL, that's probably not a good idea because right now the XL is really struggling to get scheduled because they're over capacity on that. So they said they're way backlogged. So if as a dealer, if you're put a stock XL order, basically they're telling them don't do it because it's not gonna happen. We're not gonna give you those orders. So that's something to think about. So the reason I want to bring this up is that one of the things that you think about is if you're waiting, maybe you're one of those is like, you know what, I just want to be able to drive one. I don't want to order one. I want to be able to drive one on a dealer lot. What's the case and possibility of that? Well, real soon we will probably see a lot of Mavericks on dealer lots this fall, probably October, November, 24 model years. But with this situation, this information from Ford, you're probably gonna see a lot of Lariats on dealer lots because dealers are being, told to put those types of orders in, and they're not, with that price range, they're going to struggle to be selling, and you're probably going to be able to see those on dealer lots. You probably won't see an XL unless somebody decided not to take one, and you're probably not going to find a lot of XLTs either. So you're probably going to, and maybe a little bit of XLTs, and that will probably be people that didn't take them, or dealers that were smart enough to order XLTs instead of Lariats, which is what we're planning to do. So, so that's just something to think about if you're maybe wanting to wait to get one this fall. That's what you probably expect to see on dealer lots. You probably see a lot of Lariats and probably a few XLTs, and you probably won't have a lot of choices in a way of what options were chosen. Now, if you want, it does take 3 months to get one in stock or in to the dealer. If you schedule one now and it gets scheduled for in July, it'll be for September build dates, which means it takes about a month after that to receive them. You're probably looking at October, late October, maybe even the 1st of November before seeing your Maverick that you ordered. So if you're thinking you might want them this summer, maybe think about, ordering a 24 and having it scheduled, and get it for production, and then go ahead and take delivery this fall instead. So that's another option that I tell you to do, and go ahead and order what you want. I would probably stay away from XL. I'd go XLT. If you want a hybrid, go XLT hybrid, quit. And I think that's you're right around that 20. What was that? When we see prices 25, 27, I think was the 26 to 27, I think is where I've seen some of them come in. And that's not a bad price when you're thinking about what you're getting. 42 miles per gallon in an XLT, not a bad deal whatsoever. So now a little information on 25 model year. I want to just make this about 24. We do have information on 25 model year. It does look like the order banks will open up in early August. Not going to happen in July. If you've been hoping that would happen, it's going to be August before those order banks do open up. They do plan to have a media reveal of the 25 model year in the launch of the order banks at the same time. So when you start seeing those videos rolling out for media, then that's when you're going to see, that's when the order banks are going to be opening up. So I actually have a date, just can't tell you guys. I want to keep that. They told dealers today, but they also said it was kind of a secret. So, we'll see. Anyway, other than that, I think, that's coming out 25 model year, early August, probably the first week of August. That's probably the most I can say. Anyway, hopefully you guys do enjoy this video and you learned something from it. And hopefully, you're having fun with these Maverick Monday videos with us. And we'll see. We'll have some good ones coming up in the future, hopefully. Hopefully we learn more about it. Close to August, we have a couple more weeks of these Maverick Monday videos before we can get you some really good content on the Maverick for 25 model year. So we'll see what else comes about between now and then for these Maverick Monday videos. You got any ideas? Post them down below. I'd love to have them. If you like this video, smash the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Notification bell is turned on so you don't miss any of these videos or any of our other videos. And catch us on our live stream tomorrow night, Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central. We'd love to have you over there for another live stream with Sarah. So thank you very much for watching this video. Until next week, stay positive, be kind to one another, be kind to yourself, and we'll see you in the next video.